Colorado, steam, steam railroading, narrow gauge steam, mountain narrow gauge. After a century and a quarter, one without any of the others would be unthinkable. And now, it only gets better. There is no better place to get a comprehensive overview of the 3-foot gauge steam railroading in the Colorado Rockies today and a century ago than at the Colorado Railroad Museum at Golden. Here you can see rail equipment ranging from galloping geese to a huge standard gauge Burlington steam locomotive. But the star performers are the diminutive narrow gauge equipment led by number 346, a rugged little Class C-19 consolidation built by Baldwin in 1881 for the Denver and Rio Grande. Today, number 346 is putting on quite a sight and sound show as it goes through its paces during one of the occasional steam-up days at the museum. The famous narrow gauge circle once offered an unequaled trip through the Rockies. One could ride as a passenger from Denver to Durango, Silverton, Alamosa, and other fascinating locations in the mining areas of Colorado and New Mexico. We continue west for another 15 miles to Silver Plume, home of the Georgetown Loop Railroad, otherwise known as the Georgetown, Breckenridge, and Leadville. Until its abandonment in 1939, this was part of a 3-foot gauge line on the Colorado and Southern Railroad extending west from Denver. Starting in the late 1960s, track was relaid on 6½ miles of the original roadbed, and eventually over a recreation of the spectacular 96-foot-high curved Devil's Gate Viaduct, where the track loops over itself. Shay number 12 has run around its train at Georgetown and proceeds back over the trestle and upgrade to Silver Plume. Today, the narrow gauge rails are gone west of Chama to Durango, but 65 miles of slim gauge to the east still twist and turn up and over Cumbres and on to Antonito as the Cumbres and Toltec Railroad. Little has really changed at Chama as the hostlers go about their timeless tasks at the engine house to prepare numbers 484 and 488, a pair of former Rio Grande Class K-36 Mikados built by Baldwin in 1925 for their day's work. Number 489 and its train soon arrive at Chama. It glides past the water tank and the well-weathered wooden coaling tower. Once part of the line that connected to Chama, the Durango and Silverton still travels on the old Rio Grande right-of-way through dramatic scenery. Durango in southwestern Colorado inspired the late railroad writer Lucius Beebe to eloquent prose, and for good reason. For what in the 1940s was a Rio Grande mixed train to Silverton in imminent danger of extinction has blossomed into today's 45-mile Durango and Silverton narrow gauge railroad. The climb gets steeper, and the locomotives have to work much harder. Listen to that stacked talk, and watch that plume of smoke from number 478. Also note the cinder-catching trap on the stack of this K-28 mic, reminiscent of the old Colorado and Southern narrow gauge. In the late 1950s, the track was extended beyond the old depot at Silverton to bring the trains closer to the downtown business district. Now each train arrives at and leaves from this location. Each train turns on the Y while its passengers are in downtown Silverton. Another train is heading south out of town to return to Durango.